Red defending the goal to our left to get us away, and what a following they have. They're lying 15th in the First Division and having a fairly nondescript season, and yet over 2 hours before the start of this game, queues were ringing White Hart Lane 60th. Now it's Chivers, and really United facing a challenge. Here's Best, wanting 1 goal for his 100 in the league. Fitzpatrick to Law. And now to Willie Watson, the new face in this United side. Law again, shaking off Peters and finding Best. A little shimmy that tries to put him past Perryman. Throw to Manchester United. And the referee today, Ray Tinkler, from Boston, on the league list since 1961. Perryman in very quickly. Chivers. A lot of rain on this pitch in the last fortnight. And already showing those telltale signs of wear with sawdust in the middle, or sand. Peters now to Knowles. Chivers, Fitzpatrick, and Kidd. Bobby Charlton, who scored such a fantastic goal here 3 years ago, running half the length of the pitch, beating almost the entire Spurs side, but giving it there quite nicely to Kinnear. Now it's Gilzine. Again, John Aston forcing himself on the scene there and giving away the free kick. Now it's Knowles. Peters trying to get ahead to that one. Mullery closing in fast. Kinnear looking for it on the far side, but in fact it's the other full-back now, Knowles. Perryman. Oh, a poor one there by Perryman. Straight to Brian Kidd. Best right up ahead of him. Beale back in this side, watching him closely. And a long cross ball for Law, but cut out beautifully by Cyril Knowles.
Spurs, Man United, it has such a ring to it, doesn't it, Alan?
Oh, they were marvellous games, Dick. I mean, you can look back over and over the years of matches played. I mean, Bob was mentioning the Charity Shield earlier on, when Man United won the Championship and we won the Cup. I mean, the Charity Shield was a 3-3 draw. And Pat Jennings scored in the game.
We had that on the Scrapbook, I remember it happening, yeah.
You know, but some of the games, we beat Manchester United in one of these years, 5-1 at our place. 3 weeks later, we went up to Manchester United and got beat 5-1 up there. Yeah. They were fantastic matches.
Was it a fixture you always look forward to, Bobby?
Well, yeah, it was. I think why the fans liked it as well, Dickie, was that they knew that they were going to see 2 teams playing attacking football, you know. Defensive, you know, they had reputations for attacking, and it wasn't a case of people playing offside or anything like that. It was attractive, and they realised that they were entertainers on both sets of players. It was just in the traditional. It was in the traditional of the club. It was always nice to play the London sides and to do well down here, but there was always a spice to the Tottenham game, more than any of the other London games, I think.
They were always very competitive, but there was always super football matches. I can't ever remember a 0-0 draw between Manchester United and Tottenham. There was always goals.
Well, we're in the middle of one now, and there are goals to come.
And so it's a throw then to Tottenham from a position where Chivers might try a long one. And there it is, England right up there. Rimmer to use his fists, and it's coming through now to Chivers again with time to tee it up. Pushed away once more. Perryman. So much pressure on Manchester United. Knowles. Peters looking for it. England is right in there as well. Done only as far as Gilzine. Just past. And United in the most terrible tangle in defence, and nobody at the back there to organise them. But in fact it was a free kick. Might well have been that Mike England, who's now got back to defence, had his feet rather high in the challenge there. But at any rate the whistle had gone. Bobby Charlton going for that one and missing completely. To the mystification of Spurs, it's a free kick to Manchester United. Law putting it straight at Kidd, in fact. And then putting it straight into touch. Looking just a little bit rattled at the moment, Manchester United. It's Knowles. Looking for Chivers. But it must have been a foul by Steve James, the number 5 on Chivers, because it's a free kick for Spurs. in a position exactly where I would imagine Knowles would turn another one into that penalty area. Gilzean looking for it and getting ahead to it, just past Rimmer's post. Fine jump by Gilzean. He had two men marking him and he still got above them. Five Spurs players back in a line strung across the edge of that penalty area. Now Kidd turns it in towards Bobby Charlton. Beale not getting it very far. It's Fitzpatrick. Charged down by Mallory. And Spurs off on another assault. Gilzean held it too long. And Sadler who brings it away. United's throw. Oh, Best in a bit of space. Beale jogging alongside him. Kidd has made the burst, and a good burst too. Perryman right back, and a corner to Manchester United. Looks as though Kidd's in trouble from the challenge by Steve Perryman, but a perfectly fair challenge by Perryman it looked. A desperate one certainly, because Kidd was right through in that penalty area. The referee has taken Kidd off the field and says that the treatment must continue there. And so Bobby Charlton with the corner for Manchester United. And it's pushed away and over the line, says the linesman, and the goal is given, and it's Sadler who has scored it. No, not given. Not given. It was a push.
Bobby, what could have gone wrong?
Well, just looking at it, I can't see at the moment. That looks a straightforward jumping head. It's crossed the line. Maybe they're saying that it didn't cross the line.
Well, the linesman apparently...
Well, it certainly wasn't a foul. Not that I can see there.
Mystifying.
Yeah.
You were somewhat lucky then to get away with that one, Alan.
God, not much. I mean, I couldn't see anything wrong with it at all. You know, Ray Tinkler, the referee, must have seen it. I don't think he even saw it. I think the linesman saw it. But whatever it was, I mean, the players definitely didn't see it.
Gilzean flicked on and offside, says the linesman. There's Wilf McGuinness waving his arm, had a word with that linesman as he went by. Brown Kidd looks as though he's all right again. Wilf McGuinness, I think, must have been a little disappointed that the goal he thought had been given and then it wasn't. Bobby Charlton. John Aston, number 11, and Knowles watching him. Kidd looking for that one, and Law! There it is by Dennis Law! Well, would you believe it? For 30 minutes, they're outclassed.
In fact, that was just outside the 6-yard box, wasn't
It was
it?
unusual for Dennis, wasn't it? You know, outside the 6. But look, what a great run. I mean, you know, with Dennis, it's a typical Dennis Law goal. I mean, he scored week in and week out, getting in behind people, inside the box, and once he was there, forget it. You know, goalkeepers didn't have any chance at all. Marvellous finish from him. But Dennis Law always in those positions.
Was he one of the greatest?
I think with him and Jimmy Greaves, the two greatest goal scorers I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't argue with that. No, he's a great player, Dennis. But he was lightning fast over short distances. And he just had that little knack when he got in the box. In fact, he ran from deep there, which is an unusual situation. Usually he's more of a predator than that.
Yeah, in this game he played midfield, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can remember playing in midfield in this game.
We just had that fantastic save. I mean, it's now end-to-end stuff, isn't it?
But it's forward. Everybody goes forward as quickly as we can.
Only Best is up. Knowles. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Mallory. Knowles. For Mallory again. And Knowles once more. Aim towards Chivers and Gilzean. And Chivers going in on it. Gilzean! Oh, what a save by Rimmer! How did he keep that out? That looked the merest formality for Gilzean from 2 yards, and no wonder the United players are going across to thump him on the back. Now Knowles turning it across again, and a goal kick. Well, I think there must certainly be a certain mystery in the south as to why Alex Stepney can't get back into that Manchester United side. And I think a moment ago we had one of the answers. That really was a superlative save by young Jimmy Rimmer. England up again. Perryman bursting in on the scene. Mullery there too. And so is Kidd to Bobby Charlton. Dennis Law. Tony Dunn tempted to put it back, I think, but then found that Chivers was right back as well. As the whistle goes for the end of a first half that sees Dennis Law having put Manchester United ahead when it could so easily have been Spurs 2 or 3 ahead by the time that he did it. So Spurs get away in the second half, now defending the goal to our left. United obviously kept buoyant in that first half by some superlative goalkeeping by young Jimmy Rimmer. Now it's Pearce. The pressure already on United again. Peters looking for it, but Fitzpatrick to Aston. Short ball to Bobby Charlton. And now to George Best. Peters snapping at him, and after the ball had gone, Best, I suppose, probably takes more wear and tear on his body in the course of a season than most footballers. A little shrug and a little smile that says such a lot. Sadler's long free kick headed away there by England as far as Best. Mullery now back to Jennings. Perryman. Gaggle at the far side waiting for the high ball. Gilzine pumping it on, and Dunn putting it back. Law now for Manchester United, on for Best. Trying to torment both Beale and Mullery, and succeeding up to a point. Beale brings him down and the play goes on. Mullery, the long ball, seeking out the speed and the strength of Chivers, going down. And the ball still not out of play. To Jimmy Pearce. A long cross ball, Gilzine to raise himself for it. And that was precious close to the top angle of that Manchester United goal from Gilzine. Such a dangerous customer in the air at the far post from those crosses. Philip Beale. Now Kinnear. Not the best of passes from Watson. Mullery. Oh, another good one by Mullery as well, straight to Aston. Kidd. Law. Brian Kidd. To George Best. Fitzpatrick. Best going in on it. Best! Oh, beautifully taken by Best! What a magnificent goal by Best! What a magnificent goal!
Well, that was a very special goal for George Best, that, Bobby.
He's a brave player, George. And he's gone into the... They could have got hurt, but great control on his chest. I mean, some would argue maybe it was his arm, but his chest. And then once he gets in that situation, well, no way he wasn't going to score.
His 100th league goal.
Yeah.
Was there something about Best that defences feared? I mean, would they be especially cautious with Best and Law around?
Oh, absolutely, because he was a genius. I mean, he just did things that other people didn't do. I mean, in that era, there were certain players that were, they were predictable. George Best was probably the most unpredictable footballer ever. And we've seen already in this game, the genius that he's showing on the dreadful pitch. And that magnificent goal, I mean, if you see the number 4, which was me, I mean, I nearly caught his head then with my feet. But he had no fear at all. He'd go through that to score a goal.
Was he ever man-marked, Bestie?
Oh, yeah, people tried it.
All the time.
All the time. But he just got out of it. He was such a good player.
And if ever it was 1-against-1, then if you were a defender, you were in trouble. Because he used to hone in on goals as soon as it was 1-against-1.
I can remember this game, Dick, going back and Bill Nicholson saying that whenever you lose the ball, you've got to get the midfield players and defenders behind it, because if you don't, George Best and Bobby Charlton will just go through you. Well, you've just seen George Best do it, go through us from a deep
And now
position.
you're 2-0 down.
Yes, 2-0 down and
at home.
Yes, at home, and the crowd won't be happy. The 55,000 that were there. Bill definitely won't be happy. The steam will be coming out of his ears at this time.
Yeah.
But we do give ourselves a chance, I think.
This is the goal.
Pierce, Knowles again with a chance to lift it once more. Peters waiting at that far side, getting it in! Martin Peters! 2-1! Well, that really does open it up again. Knowles for the umpteenth.
Well, that was a prophetic remark of yours, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he had a lovely left foot, Cyril Knowles, you know, an educated left foot. Not as good as Bob's, but he did have a decent left foot, and he could pick people out. And Martin Peters had this wonderful knack of coming a little bit late, and he was very, very good in the air, Martin, tall lad. But he didn't used to climb too high, but the timing was perfect, and he took the goal very, very well.
Yeah, you're well blessed with forward players in the air as well, weren't you?
Marvin Skilsine,
You know.
and Peters,
Yes.
and Chivers as well, superb players.
Spurs were doing this for almost the whole of the first 45 minutes. Perryman now to Kinnear. United really trapped now in their own half of the field, but Law finding Rimmer. Bobby Charlton now. Best and Kidd ahead of him. And Fitzpatrick surging forward too. And Best is through, but he's offside. He's offside. And the linesman had his flag up as soon as that pass was made. Mike England with the kick. Crowd, I think, claiming that Chivers was pushed again there by James, but it's Spurs in possession once more, and they're very intelligently spreading this game out as wide as they can. Now it's Knowles turning it in. Oh, Gilzean! 2-2! What a goal by Gilzean! Oh, and what a comeback by Tottenham!
With a great head, Alan Gilzean, Alan.
Entirely different ball again, Dick, wasn't it? Gilzean, I mean, what a thunderous header. Look, just got his head to it and right. I mean, you know, Jimmy had no chance at all, Jimmy Rimmer.
That kind of deflection with the head gives great pace to the ball too, doesn't it, really?
It was a wonderful goal from Gilly. But again, like Dennis in the first half, he'd scoring those goals. Gilly would score those goals every other week. He had a marvellous header of the ball.
Pushed away by Aston. And it's all very well for Fitzpatrick to show his annoyance at the linesman, but it wasn't the linesman who threw Kinnear over. And most certainly it was a foul, and most certainly it is a free kick to Tottenham. Mullery wanting Aston to go back 10 yards. The linesman ignoring him. Mullery putting it hard. Gilzean! Oh, good work by Rimmer. Angry that Gilzean wasn't covered by his defence. And still that pressure on Manchester United. Chivers. Pierce to Mullery. Wide there for Knowles. This is where the goals have come from. And across that goal, and just past that post, as the crowd tumbles down behind it. And it needed the merest touch to make it 3-2 to Tottenham. And a United player down injured. And Steve James and Fitzpatrick and Law. There's a fight, in fact, between the United players on the field.
Yeah, a bit of a bit of a do with Dennis there, Alan.
Well, I mean, you know, we look at it, the two lads, they're blaming each other for not marking people. And all I'm saying to Fitzy there is, yeah, it's not worth fighting your own fellas. Why don't you fight us instead of them?
But he's a very voluble person, isn't he, Dennis?
They're both lads from Aberdeen, you know. And I mean, he's his mentor in a way. And little John Fitzpatrick, he's only just come into the team. He's not played very long. And he's frustrated because suddenly things are going wrong and they can't control it. Dennis is the same. Dennis was a fiery character too.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have them that way than not interested.
Oh.
Oh, and a good ball there from Kinnear that sends Peters away. And again, good defence by Tony Dunn. Trying to push Martin Peters out of it, though. Gilzean. Peters. First time across that goal. Pierce at the far side. It wouldn't reach him, so it's Mullery to drive it just over. And it was tipped over by Rimmer once more. Mullery coming across to take it. England again urging it in the air. Gilzean looking for it, Peters also, and they couldn't get a foot to it. The whistle had gone in any case. Well, Mullery has played his full part in keeping his men moving, keeping their spirits high when they were 2 down, and now it's 2-2 with a quarter of an hour to go. Bobby Charlton gets high, but it's England to Knowles. Sadler rather casually, but finding Dunn. And now Best. Law. Back to Best again. Searching out Aston. Tony Dunn making a run for him. Still Aston. Beating Kinnear for speed. A good piece of work there by Aston. Kidd trying to put it back for Best. And now Willie Watson looping it into that Spurs penalty area. Fitzpatrick there. Law with one of those jackknife headers once more. Knowles. Pearce neatly slipping it inside. Perryman, a beautiful ball by Perryman to Knowles. And now there are plenty of white men waiting for it. Amongst them, Peters and Gazine. Oh, just passed off the knees of Chivers. That came off his knees and fractionally past the post. Gilzane and Tony Dunn, but only Kinnear there. Mullery. And now to Knowles. This is where Spurs goals have come from. Will they in the last few seconds come for the winner? As Gilzane puts it in and Peters goes in! Oh, and Rimmer losing it for one moment with his heart fluttering. Sadler. And England up as Kidd was backing in on him. Mullery in very quickly before Charlton could take advantage of it. Beale to Knowles. The very last seconds now. Chivers again trying to get away from the defence. Knowles once more. And now England. One last crisis for this United defence to weather. No, they won't have to because the final whistle has gone and a really magnificent game it's been.